And if you don't want to use oil on your scalp, feel free to mist your hair with water. This is something that now I'm actually promoting, misting your hair with water even throughout the week, because guess what, your hair, it gets dry throughout the week, and if you don't use a water-based product to put that moisture back in, just using oils is not going to cut it, because oils do not moisturize or hydrate. They don't hydrate, they just seal moisture in. Hey y'all, welcome back to Holistic Flow. I am your girl Lolo, and in this video I'm going to be talking about a tip for your starter lock journey. If you're on your starter lock journey and you're wondering when you can wash your locks, then keep on watching this video. Now I know this is a topic that I've seen a lot on YouTube, and this topic has been, or this question of when should I wash my starter locks, or when should I first wash my starter locks? It has been really prevalent question, because when you first start your locks, you're probably like wanting to do all the things right so that you don't regret anything, you know, which is totally understandable. I think that everything's a learning experience, and I also know that a lot of locticians have, even though I will say I highly respect locticians and all natural hair care experts, because they're doing God's work. They have the quite difficult task of guiding other people through their natural hair journey and through their lock journey, and that can be difficult because you're learning other people's hair and what the porosity is. There's a lot that goes into natural hair, like your texture, your porosity, your density, you know, all those things. So, however, I think just like all other human beings, sometimes the ways in which they give advice can be a little bit flawed, or it doesn't apply to every single individual. For some, I've even heard people say that a loctician told them longer than 3 months to wash their hair, which is wild to me. However, maybe people have done it in the past. I'm going to get into in this video why that might be, and also what I think about when it is appropriate to wash your starter locks for optimal health of your hair. Health, that's what we're focusing on, and for your scalp to grow and flourish. So let's get into the video. I want to say, first of all, that every person's scalp is a little bit different, and frequency at which you wash your scalp can be determined by what your scalp is already used to as far as producing its natural oils. Like our scalp all produces sebum. Sebum is a natural oil, and depending on how much you wash your hair, your sebum will be produced depending on how much you wash your hair. For example, like if you wash your hair every week, your sebum is going to be produced in a way that after 1 week, your sebum is going to be so much so that it'll make you want to wash your hair after a week, because it's getting used to what your natural routine already is. Or let's say you once were washing your hair once a week, and then you switch to washing your hair every 3 weeks. Your scalp might take a little while to get adjusted to the change in the variation of schedule, but eventually your scalp will start to conform to the idea that, okay, I should wait an extra 2 weeks before I start producing more sebum, so that, you know what I'm saying? Okay, anyways. With that being said, one of the reasons why I think that locticians may tell people during their starter lock journey that they should wait a couple months to wash their hair is because depending on how you start your locks and depending on how many locks you start with, etc., you might be more prone to them unraveling and coming out. And it can make it easier for you to have a seamless starter lock journey when you delay washing your hair, in the sense that the locks won't unravel, they won't come out. And if you're seeing a loctician, most likely you trust a loctician to do the maintenance for you as well, so you'll be getting regular maintenance on your locks. Unless you're doing your own maintenance, and that's a different story. And also I want to clarify about the starter lock phase. So starter lock phase, I'm talking about when you, in between any time you first got your locks to maybe about 7 or 8 months in. You know, there's different phases like the starter lock phase, and there's no set time that these are. It's just depending on how fast your hair matures. Like I was in my starter lock phase from about 1 month to about, I would say 7 months, and then I went into like a teenage phase from 8 months to 13 months, and then my hair started fully maturing. But some people's phases are different than that. But anyways, when you're in your starter lock phase, your hair might be soft. Your hair is also getting used to it being in the same state for a little while. So let's say if you started with two short and twists, I'm just using that example because I started with two short and twists. My locks, or they weren't locks at the time, but my twists were actually used to being manipulated because I would do two strand twists all the time as a style, leave it in for 2 weeks and then take it out. But this time my hair didn't know or didn't understand that I was trying to lock it yet. So it would come out, it would unravel because my hair was a little bit softer at the time too. It was kind of like shiny. So you can imagine that what that's like. And the more that you manipulate your hair during that starter lock stage, the more disturbance you will have of the locking process, in a sense. And I'm going to get to that in a little bit. But just in general, like imagine you're doing all this styling and all this washing and all this manipulating and your locks fall out. Or you have coils, your coils come undone. Then you got to go back to the loctician. Maybe your loctician might be like,
I told you not to wash it and you washed it, so I got to do it again,
Maybe they won't be mad because that's some extra, cha-ching in their bank account. But anyways, I think those are one of the main reasons that it may be advised to wash your hair or wait to wash your hair a couple months. Now, why I think that you shouldn't wait is because number one, going back to the whole sebum thing, your scalp produces natural oils. Even if you're used to washing your hair, let's say every 2 weeks, there's only so much you can wait or so long that you can wait until the natural sebum just builds up on your scalp. And that buildup can cause blockage to the pores in your scalp. And it's just sitting on top of your scalp. Eventually you might have smells, like it might become that, that oil smell, and people have like old oil in their hair and it's just sitting on there and you can smell it. And it's sitting on top of your scalp. Your scalp may not be able to breathe. Number one is it might mitigate the actual process of your hair growing because the sebum or the buildup is blocking your pores. And a dirty scalp is an unhealthy scalp. So I honestly think that any time after 3 weeks, going without washing your hair is too long. I personally recommend 2 weeks. I think that's like the general average that people wash their hair, whether you're loosely natural, whether you are locked, afro textured hair, around 2 weeks to shampoo. Maybe 1 week is good too, in between 1 week or 2 weeks. Now, another reason is because your hair, even if it does unravel, because you're locking your hair, what you're doing is you're training your hair to stay in one spot. So either way, your hair is going to take a little while to learn how to stay in one place. So yeah, you can make the argument that I'll wait a couple months to train my hair to lock up, right? Throughout that time, your hair actually isn't getting wet. So it's not coiling up. There's nothing that's making it tangle within each other, because what happens when you wash your hair? What happens when you wash your hair? It tangles up. And what are locks? Locks are a bunch of tangled up loose hairs. They're not loose anymore because they get tangled. So imagine if you went 3 months and you just had your starter locks in whatever form they're in and you didn't wash it, right? Versus if you had 3 months, you had your starter locks in and you washed your hair maybe like once a month or heck, even twice a month. Your hair would tangle up a little bit. The locks would be disturbed if you washed it. However, if the point of having locks is to lock your hair, then why not help the locking process along by letting your hair get tangled up, because it's getting wet, and wetness, again, helps your locks tangle up. So I think that instead of worrying so much about the locks unraveling because you washed them in the shower or whatever other reasons that locticians might say to wait 3 months until you wash your hair, I think that the locking process naturally happens once you wet your hair and once you have a clean scalp as well. So that is my opinion of it. Yeah, so another thing, there are certain types of water. I first started washing my hair about once a month. When I first was in my lock journey, I washed it once a month because I did have 2-strand twists, and again, my hair was kind of soft. So throughout my starter lock journey, I would once wash it in my shower once a month, and then I waited about 5 months before I started washing it every 2 weeks. Something about the water in your shower is that usually it's hard water. What that means is that it has extra minerals like calcium, magnesium, and it also has sulfates in it. Now, this can be damaging for your hair because the sulfates actually can dry your hair out. Some people are totally fine not having any type of filter on their shower head, but if you want to, you could get a shower filter. Now, this will help protect your hair while you wash it, so that if you still want to wash your hair often during your starter lock period and you feel like the sulfates in your hair might be damaging or drying to your locks, then I would recommend maybe getting one of those shower filters. Now, I don't have one. There's all sorts of ones that you can get on Amazon, so you can look it up and apply one to your shower head filter so that it will filter out those magnesium, sulfates, and everything like that, and minerals, and so that it will be more soft and make the hair more malleable. Another thing is that you can use distilled water to spray your hair with throughout the week instead of the water from your faucet. So how you do that is you get like a spray bottle like this one. I got this one from Target, and it's just a regular, spray bottle. It's actually a mister. Yeah, it actually mists, right? So a mister is really, really great. What I have in my mister is this distilled water. I have this distilled water in here. I also got this distilled water from Target, and distilled water, again, it doesn't have those like hard water properties in it, and distilled water is like it's kind of like filtered, but it's a more pure form of water. It's soft, and it will be more gentle on your hair. So if you moisturize your locks and you're like throughout the week, you actually want to refresh your scalp because it's dry, and if you don't want to use oil on your scalp, feel free to mist your hair with water. This is something that now I'm actually promoting, misting your hair with water even throughout the week, because guess what, your hair, it gets dry throughout the week, and if you don't use a water-based product to put that moisture back in, just using oils is not going to cut it, because oils do not moisturize or hydrate. They don't hydrate. They just seal moisture in, because water and oil don't mix. You put water on your hair first, then you put the oil on top to seal it in, if that works for you. I have another video on that if you want to see it. Again, card in there. But yeah, those are all the things that I have about why I think you should use water on your hair, and you should wash your hair more often than 3 months in your starter lock journey. If you have any questions, comment them down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, I'm sending peace your way, love your way, and joy to you, your family, and your friends. All right, y'all. Peace.